Hey, 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 welcome back to another episode of The In-Between. I'm your host, Elizabeth Cheney. I'm just going to go ahead and preface, I am overwhelmed. I'm overstimulated. I am not doing so well in all this chaos of my house. But you know what? We're here recording, so that is a triumph nonetheless. I don't even know if that word really makes sense for the context. I am just all over the place. How is this episode going to go? You know what? It's anyone's game at this point. So welcome. Thank you for being here. If you're new here, well, you picked quite the episode to come listen on. So, let me just take a deep breath. Goodness gracious. So I don't even know where to begin. It's not that one thing in particular has happened. It's just the to-dos are never ending when it comes to this house. I think, okay, I hired a handyman. He came and did all this stuff. That's going to make me feel great. It did. It did make me feel great. I want to preface that. I don't want to disregard all the work I had done and all the money I paid to get it done. But it's like, oh, well, that just highlighted all the other things I have to do. It's like, when do the to-dos stop? I'd like to know. On top of my extroversion that just needs to chill the fuck out, because I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm trying to get back into the podcast, which also means networking, reaching out to people, which, again, I'm sure the next episode that I record, I'm going to be cool as a cucumber. I'm going to be cool, calm, collected, and be like, oh, man, I was freaking out. Psh, I'm a G. But right now, today, this week, I am overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. You know, this house is a lot for one little girly like myself. And I'm also realizing just how much handy skills I do not have. I'm not saying I can't build a piece of furniture, but I am saying I can't find a stud in the wall to save my life. I am saying I don't even know how to do little screw caps. You know, the plastic things that go into the wall that, I don't know, support the screw. I don't know why it's going to be a two-part deal, but I cannot do it to save my life. I mean, heck, we all know that I almost died hanging almost a shower curtain. Let's hope I don't die doing that. But I almost died hanging a curtain rod. So that should have been my foreshadow as to what I was going to get myself into with this house. All that said and done, I feel like I am just pouring out money. It's like, okay, one big chunk of change there, one big chunk of change there. And then I'm like, oh, well, now that this is done, I want to get this podcast studio going. And that costs money to get those chairs. I feel like I'm whining, but it's my podcast, so I can do that. Hopefully it's entertaining, but it's just like, wow, so much. There's so much to do. I'll give you an example. I bought a shed. I have no business putting a shed together, but I'm going to try because I cannot handle all the power tools and all the shit that's in my house that's just taking up space. So what is she going to do? She's going to try to build this shed because it's a put together shed. And my whole backyard is pretty much a slope. So that makes that fun for me. But there is like one little area that is flat and I'm just going to take it. Is it going to look aesthetically pleasing? I have no earthly idea, but guess what? I'm going to put that damn shed together if it kills me. And it might, because said curtain rod. On top of that, I saw this thing on the internet that was like, the reason I procrastinate is because I'm so good at procrastinating and I always get it done. So then I continue to procrastinate because I always, wow, I think I just kind of went in circles there. Basically, my point being is, I procrastinate so much because I always get the job done. It might stress me out to no end getting there. It might, almost die hanging a curtain rod, but I get it all done. And that's why my brain cannot stop procrastinating. And honestly, I'll throw myself a bone here. It's not that I procrastinate a lot. It's just, I don't know, I get stuck in my head. I get lost in all the thoughts. I get lost in all the things I have to do because it's like you got to do all these things in the house and then you got to build all these things. And then there's your podcast that you want to do. And then you want to finish updating your website because, again, I'm only halfway through with my speaking. Got to figure that out. A blog post, never met her. Maybe one day we'll get there. A newsletter, a dream, quite the dream. Jokes aside, I know it'll all come together because it is slowly but surely, but I shit you not. It's like you knock 5 things off and 15 more pop up and I'm like, oh my God, when am I going to get above water? Because I'm overwhelmed. I'm so overwhelmed. But you know what? Let's be honest. She's not going to stop meeting people. She's not going to stop talking to people. She's not going to stop being an extrovert because that is who I am. So I might as well just embrace it. So I'll find a balance. I mean, I am brushing my teeth, morning and night. So there's a win. I am washing my face for the most part. Oh, and my doctor would be happy to know that I'm still taking all my vitamins routinely. So there are some wins. Snaps for Liz. Snaps for Liz. But one thing, I mean, there's a lot that I want to say, but kind of on the same topic, one thing I want to say is I would love some masculine energy around here. Not even necessarily for my own romantic, dare I say, sexual needs. I just mean handy man, literally a handyman needs. I don't have a dad. I don't have any brothers. My male cousin lives in friggin' North Carolina now, which miss him. Love you guys so much. And my uncle has like hip surgery. I don't freaking know. All this to say, I don't really have a lot of male energy to come help me. And as a strong, independent woman who don't need no man, I know that's hard for me to say. And I want you to know the situation must be dire for me to admit that I need a man's help. Not that my girlfriends can't help, but like, for example, we can't all reach some of the things that I need help with. We all don't have tools that I'm sure some men have. And maybe I'm generalizing. I don't even freaking know. All I know is if there could just be someone that shows up at my door and is like, hey, let me help you. I'd probably cry. I'd definitely probably cry. I'd give you a big hug. I'd cook you a home cooked meal. And I would be very grateful. So if there's anyone who fits that profile, who would like to help me not feel so much like I'm drowning, applications are open. Literally, my door is open. I think at this point, I would take anyone with a pulse that isn't going to kill me or steal from me. So that'd be great. Because the handyman that I hired was a little expensive, and I don't know if I can hire him again, okay? Okay, that's another conversation. But anyways, it's all great. Like, here I am talking about all the to-dos, and instead I'm recording an episode. So priorities, because those dreams aren't going to dream themselves. They're not going to happen themselves. Definitely got to do the damn thing. And it's like, wow, I can just sit here and think about all the things I have to do. And, oh, maybe I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do this tomorrow, or the podcast, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, at some point you have to stop yourself and go, it's only going to get done if you actually do it. Simply said, but gosh darn, if that is not such a hard pill to swallow sometimes. I saw this thing as well on the internet, because the internet is our source of truth, right? Right. It is an ADHD profile I thought, whoa, can't even speak. I'm getting ahead of myself. An ADHD profile I follow on Instagram. And I forget what they called it, but the premise is you have different lists in different rooms. And it helps your brain, I don't know, process it differently, not feel so overwhelmed, not feel so like scattered, because the thing is, everything's got to get done. And although I've worked really hard on the whole, it doesn't have to get done right now, but it's like, in the situation I'm in, there's just a never ending flow of things to do. And it's like, holy moly. So I've thought about maybe I'll have my tasks around the house list in one room. Then I have my goals, podcast, in between, all of that stuff in another room. And then, my personal to-dos, things I got to do. Like, for example, got to get my emissions done because my birthday is like just around the corner, which happy Taurus season. Yesterday I was like, oh yeah, it's start of Taurus season. I'm feeling great. Boom, bap, boom. I feel the power. And then another sleepless night. I woke up stressed out because, well, there was like so many fires at work, and it was quite the hustle and bustle. So it's just been a lot, but she gets through it because she has to. She has to survive. But it's all good. It's all good. Just another chapter in my book. Goodness. But we'll see if that helps. I will try anything once. So, well, that's a lie. I don't think I would actually try skydiving because I'm terrified of heights, but, never say never. So there's that. But back to the whole procrastinating thing, it would be great to break that cycle. I feel like I get better and better, like little by little. And I'm sure anyone who's bought a house or is trying to make a place their own, you can feel me on the never-ending to-dos. I am just going to whine just a little bit more. It would be a lot easier with two people, but you know what? That we're not even going to touch because I absolutely made the right decision there. And I am too OCD to handle having a roommate right now. I mean, I've made this space my own now, so like, where are they going to sleep? On the couch? Which, I won't lie, my couch is pretty freaking comfortable, so Maybe I will. Hey, couch for rent. Anyways, it is just quite the life. Jokes aside, procrastination aside, never-ending to-do list aside, I'm getting it done. I mean, now that I'm recording and I can let some of my excitement, for lack of better words, my eccentric self calm down a little bit, I do feel better. Do I have to go outside and touch grass a few times? Yes, I do. Yesterday I was so overwhelmed with work, so stressed out. I was like down in the dumps, so to speak. I was feeling doom and gloom, like, oh my gosh, so much stress, so much anxiety. And then I went outside and I let the sunshine hit my face. And I was like, oh, this is what it's for. This is why we do it. This is why we need the sunshine. This is what they mean by touching grass. Do I go outside throughout my day, especially when I'm stressed out? Normally, yes. I touch grass quite frequently. And it helps. It works. Who knows? Maybe it's because I'm an earth sign. I don't freaking know. But I will take the sunshine on a cloudy day. Right? So yeah, I am a little in over my head, but that's okay. I always land on my feet. Maybe this time I am going to ask for help. So if you want to help your girl out, again, I'll give you a home cooked meal. I'll give you a hug and I'll probably cry. I mean, the Handyman installed my ceiling fans, which is great. And I was trying to figure out what light bulbs to put in it because regular light bulbs are too wide, like the bulb itself. Not so much the base, but the bulb itself. So I look at the box, I see what light bulbs it says to order, and I'm not an idiot. I can read. Order said light bulbs. And they're too skinny. They don't fit. What in the hell? I blame Amazon. I absolutely blame Amazon because also, screw Jeff Bezos, but also I buy a lot off Amazon because it's cheap and it's quick and I need it and I'm overwhelmed and it's easy. But all that to say, I don't know what I'm doing. I am in over my head. Again, the screws. There's so many things that need to be screwed in my walls and I just need help. Okay, I think that's enough unloading. Hopefully your lives are not as chaotic. And if they are, well, snaps. We'll get through this together. A couple of updates. I'm going to get Invisalign. So in a couple of weeks, I may have a lisp and you'll just have to deal with it. Hopefully it won't be too bad. That's one thing I asked the doctor. I was like, or the dentist. Well, the dentist is the doctor, right? Am I an idiot there too? I'm laughing at myself. Absolutely. They are a doctor. I was asking him, I was like, yo, so I have a podcast. Big deal over here. And just want to know, like, how was the lisp situation with the retainers? And he's like, you might have a slight one, but you'll get used to it and kind of adjust. And I was like, great. And they have to put these like things, I don't even know what you want to call it. It's like not an adhesion, but it's like this, like, not a bracket, but something that they put on your tooth that comes off once your Invisalign's done. But it's, I guess, meant to kind of help the retainer pull your teeth in whatever direction you're trying to do. And he shows me a diagram of where they're going to go in my mouth. And he's like, when you're not wearing the retainer, you can't really tell at all. But when you wear the retainer, you kind of see because the retainer is glossy and you see like the ridges and things like that. And I'm like, you got me wearing one of these things on one of my front teeth. So I have no idea if I'm going to look like a clown. But you know, I only have to wear them for like 6 months. So at least there's that. But oh my gosh, what am I getting myself into? I don't know. I really want Invisalign because I want to fix my teeth. So that's a fun update. Then my mother and I have decided to go to New York in 2 weeks. Yeah, decided that today. It was kind of a surprise, but also I needed to use my companion ticket before I cancel my Amex card because I want to get a Chase card. Not that Delta is bad, but you know, you got to expand your horizons because Delta's so freaking expensive. Anyways, all that said and done, I was not about to waste that companion pass. So we're going to New York again. I can't wait. And it's going to be even more fun because her hips are replaced. Did I word that? Did I say that right? She has new hips now versus when we went in August, she hadn't had her first surgery. So we're going to be bebopping and, you know, zooming through New York and get to see areas and parts that we didn't get to see before and maybe even get to explore Brooklyn at least for a day. So I'm so excited because New York is definitely one of those cities that I think I would thrive in. Don't know if I'm going to move there because I have this giant ass house to take care of and I can't quite sell it yet. So a girl can dream, but you know, I've always said my dreams are going to take me to New York all the time. So even if that's not home base, I'll still be there a lot. So that's exciting. Something to look forward to. And me and Ashley Anna and our friend TT are going to start planning our big European Wow. I was going to say vacation and destination. It came out vestination. So there's a new word for you. But we're going to start planning that this weekend because that is around the corner too. Here I am complaining about money and I'm also the one spending it. So she is a Taurus through and through. But I think I said this on the last episode. I'm only going to be at this place in my life once. Hopefully, Lord willing, I'm not going to be single forever. She does want a family eventually, but being single, being with my friends, getting to go travel the world and I don't know, just go do the damn thing. Like, I don't know, it's just exciting. So once in a lifetime trip, can't wait. Gonna start planning that. Literally, like, we have so many ideas for the itinerary, like even other countries involved. So who knows where this trip's going to land, but I did say, this is my budget, XYZ, and I cannot go over it because I am one who will easily go over it. So we're trying to be responsible. We don't want to drown in debt. Just kidding. I don't have debt. We're okay. But again, this house just keeps presenting new things that must be done and bought. So got to be careful on that. But it's going to be fine. It's going to be great. I made a joke earlier about my sleep. I don't even remember what the joke was about because that seems like years ago now. But no update there. Still not sleeping. I just bought magnesium spray because I've heard that helps. Like, you spray on your feet before you go to bed, and everyone who's recommended it says it puts me to bed like a baby. So maybe that will be my cure. Maybe that will be my fix. But let me tell you guys, I am so stressed out as to why I'm not sleeping. I am sure that is creating more chaos in my life and adding to all of this like intense anxiety of like my to-dos and being overwhelmed and overstimulated. But holy shite, what does a girl got to do to be able to sleep? I would love to know. I don't even care anymore about the bags under my eyes. I mean, of course I care, but like, I just want to sleep at this point. I want to sleep through the night. That doesn't involve me drinking or taking drugs. That's a lie. I don't take drugs, but you know what I mean? I tried doing the magnesium pill thing, like the capsule form. And then if I fell asleep, it gave me the most stressful dreams. I don't even want to tell you some of the dreams I've had, but like things that are spooky, things that are scary, things that keep you up at night, like my mom getting murdered, like literally knock on wood, find some wood. I mean, seriously, like what in the hell? Then I started drinking this powder stuff, like put it in some water before I go to bed. I thought that helped, but did it last night and I just stared at my ceiling. And then when I start to doze off, it's like I kind of come in between of like, no pun intended, in between sleep and like being awake. And then I look at the clock and again, it's 3 a.m. and we know how I feel about that. Where's the demons? Where's the ghost? Who's trying to get me? And I have like this really big mirror in front of my bed, which I love. However, when you are like delirious and half asleep, it just takes one little light or whatever to just spook you to no end. So I don't know. And I have these dreams that seem so realistic. I don't know. Still trying to figure it out. I guess I'll sleep when I'm dead at this point. Oh God, it's a lot. It's a lot, but we're figuring it out. Again, remember, I'm taking my vitamins, so at least there's that. I definitely think I am a culprit of the whole revenge bedtime thing. I talked about this like a year ago, and maybe you've seen it on the internet, but it's about like why you procrastinate going to bed. And although I will say I have now developed anxiety about going to sleep because I'm like stressed out. Am I going to sleep tonight? I don't know. So I'm sure that's not helping. Oh God, I just need to win. Because I have so much going on during the day because work has been insanely busy. And then I do what little bit I can once I'm finished with whatever mental stimulation I have left. Once the wee hours of the night start to creep in, I'm like, oh gosh, am I going to sleep tonight? I don't know. And then I'll stay awake and then I'll be like, okay, it's midnight. I need to go to bed. But then it's like I've pushed through the sleepiness. Not that I ever really feel sleepy. And yeah. Here's the story. That's all she wrote. So I did just buy a projector from my bedroom. And I'm like, maybe if I have like some kind of like TV to go to bed to, maybe that will help. I'll try anything at this point. Well, for the most part. I won't try everything. But I will try all the healthy, safe recommendations you have to offer. So that's where my mental health is at. We are surviving. I'm going to just be overly positive and say we're thriving-ish, but we're going to get there because we always do, because we're going to get help. Someone is going to be like, oh my God, Elizabeth, let me help you. I want to help you. And I'm going to be like, oh, my hero. Or one of my girlfriends is going to friggin' nut up or shut up and come help me. That makes me sound ungrateful. Trust me, I have the best freaking friends in the world. But I really think I need some male energy, some male help. Anyways, I'm going to start the artist's way, which here I am just complaining about all of the shit I have to do. And I'm like, but let me add one more thing. Maybe I should rephrase this. I'm going to attempt to start the artist's way because I have a friend who wants to do it with me. And I actually think that she and I could be like buddies in this and hold each other accountable. But at the same time, I'm like, should I start next week? And then I'm like, ooh, I know how that mindset goes. I start next week, then it's the following week. And then before I know it, it's freaking July. And I'm like, well, maybe I'll start the artist way when I'm 65. I don't know, but that's okay. I have been reading more. So you know what? I need to acknowledge the small wins in wins. I mean, in terms of doing the hobbies or habits or whatever it is that I'm trying to do. And then also recognize just because you started reading a little bit each week doesn't mean you're ready to take on one more side thing. So remember how I thought I was going to learn Pink Pony Club on my birthday? Let's all laugh with me. Oh, goodness gracious. But going back to the extroversion and all of that, getting back into the flow of reaching out to people and contacts and networking and mingling with my girlfriends and things like that. My girlfriend Brooke, she owns her own PR agency. I met her last year at an ATL bucket list event. She is fabulous. I always tell her, I'm like, you're literally the coolest girl I know. Like, of course I have cool friends, but like Brooke is like cool. Like, I don't even know if that makes sense hearing that back, but you know what I mean? She's just like cool. If you're listening to this, Brooke, I hope you're giggling. But anyways, she is a phenomenal hype woman. All of my girlfriends are phenomenal hype women. Hell, I am a phenomenal hype woman. So hype women, fine, fellow hype women, am I right? But with Brooke having the PR background and being kind of not a content creator friend, but meeting her in this space. And we call this space like my dream space, like the goals I have for myself, the entrepreneurial pursuits, all of that. Especially because, I don't want to say I'm nobody, but like, I'm not somebody yet, but I'm going to be somebody one day. All that to say, her belief in me and her hyping me up is incredible. And I really, really appreciate it. She'll always be like, I know you're going to be famous. I knew that the second I met you. And I'm like, oh, I needed to hear that because I had 3 breakdowns earlier. Thanks, girl. I joke, but she is incredible. And the reason I'm bringing her up, we had a girls outing this past weekend. Somehow I ended up with 3 Uber drivers' phone numbers, not for dating purposes, but they're like, if you ever need a driver, here's my card, here's my number. I'll come pick you up because it's cheaper than Ubering. And I guess maybe now that I say that out loud, that's a great thing. But yeah, don't know how that happened. Anyways, girls' night, having fun. And we are at the St. Regis having drinks. And Ryan Seacrest is there. Ryan Seacrest is from Atlanta. I don't think he lives here now, but I'm sure he visits because I'm sure his family's here. And we're like, oh my God, that's Ryan Seacrest. A very beautiful human being. And she immediately starts trying to write my number down on a linen napkin and my Instagram handle for the podcast. Not in any way like I'm about to leave my number for Ryan Seacrest, but hey, you need to connect with this person kind of thing. And with it being a linen napkin, we couldn't get the pen to write. And it was just like, he was leaving this and this, that and that. And she's like, do you have a business card? And I look at her and I'm like, Brooke, do you think I have a business card? And as soon as I say that, I think, oh shit, I need a business card. And she says to me, you need a business card with a QR code that goes to your Spotify, better yet, a link tree that links to Spotify, Apple, your website, even your speaking page. And I was like, you are genius. You're so right. So that when I do have these very few and far between moments, at least starting off right now, with people that you never know what could happen, I could whip out a professional looking business card and I'm like, yo, Ryan, you want to connect with me because I'm all about following your dreams, which I know you dropped out of UGA back in the day because you said, screw it, I want to follow my dream. And look at you, you're freaking Ryan Seacrest. Everyone knows who you are. So, I mean, your game is my game. I'm just not quite to your level yet. And I also graduated college. But, in my defense, I didn't have my dreams then, or at least I was not in tune with them. So, have I ordered business cards in the past few days? No, but I promise you, by the end of this week, by the time this recording comes out, I would have bought them. So, nothing like holding myself accountable on my own podcast. Okay. But kind of the point of what I'm saying, two things. One, Ryan Seacrest, if you're listening, I would love for you to come on the podcast. We can talk about what it means to follow your dream, what it means to bet on yourself, which is always my favorite conversation, and like the journey that got you there, and look at you and your success. Also, I think I'm entertaining, and I think we'd probably get along really well. The second point to this is you need people like Brooke in your corner. You need people like my friends in your corner. I know that I'm being very general, but like I have some of the best freaking friends in the world who believe in me when I doubt myself, who hype me up when I'm feeling low, who remind me what my magic is, what my talent is. And of course, I do the same for them, but it is so important in having hype people in your circle, okay? And not just hyping you when you're down, like, yeah, girl, you got this. You're going to get back on the podcast. You're going to get back in the flow. But even having friends when you're going through it. I mean, we all know I just went through a major life transition, and it meant a lot to me. Of course, my best friends being there, but even some of my content friends, like people I've met in the podcast community, content creator community, reaching out, checking in on me. Hey, you've been kind of quiet. What's going on? And I'm like, well, you see, the thing is, my life imploded, and here's the tea. And in being able to do that back for them, I say that because I have a few friends going through some major life shit right now, and for me being on the other side of mine, minus all the to-dos in this house, jokes aside, it's an honor to be able to be that hype person, that support person, that reminder that, hey, your art matters, your dreams matter. Sometimes you got to pause. Sometimes you got to take a step back. Sometimes you got to balance, find that flow, but you're going to get through it. And I'm going to help you. I'm going to be there for you. You never know how much a little text message can go. They always say a little kindness goes a long way, and that's so freaking true. So you need hype people. That's what we're going to refer to them as. And Brooke is an incredible hype woman. I am so grateful that she's not just a hype woman in my life, but she's also a good friend. And I can't wait to see where this lifetime, where this dream goes, because I know it's going to go somewhere. And cheers to your girlfriends, your hype people who see Ryan Seacrest and their first means of action is, let me write your number and your Instagram handle down. All right, let's get you some business cards, because maybe it's Ryan Seacrest now and then tomorrow it's Jeff Goldblum, which that would make me pass the... that'd make me pass out in so many good ways. But, maybe one day we'll manifest that. I always have said I will have him on the podcast. Mark my freaking words. But all that to say, it's exciting when these kind of moments happen. And even if I feel a little like la-la-lee, like I'm delusional, I'm delulu, I have my girl Brooke being like, no, that's exactly what you got to do. You got to put yourself out there. You got to bet on yourself. And then to bring it full circle, that's what Mr. Seacrest did, our friend Ryan, okay? And look at him. So there's nothing wrong with believing in your dreams. It might take a lot of gutspa, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Maybe not as much blood as I think, but you know what I mean. Sweat, tears, metaphorical blood. But you're going to get there. You just can't give up on it. And I'm going to be honest. You can't do it alone. Even if you're the one doing the damn thing and it's your dream, you need your hype people. You need your community. You need your personal community. You need your friends, your family. Yes. And then you also need your community, the people that are doing what you want to do. Maybe not directly and specifically, but the people who can understand the hustle, can understand what you're going through. So find your people. It's important. Buy the dang business cards, set up the link tree, and Ryan Seacrest, give me a freaking call, because I think we could create a magical episode if I do say so myself. And as an Atlanta native, isn't that a bonus point? Okay. Enough begging, Mr. Seacrest. Why do I keep calling Mr. Seacrest? That sounds so weird. No problem, Mrs. Seacrest. Listen to me. But all that said and done, I feel magical. Wow. I feel like that's a very different vibe that I started the episode off with. But hey, that just goes to show you how much I love doing this. And like, she's got it. But don't give up. Believe in yourself. Always bet on yourself, no matter what it is. You don't have to be an entrepreneur and have some crazy ass dreams like I do to bet on yourself. Bet on yourself for the promotion. Bet on yourself to cook that crazy complicated recipe in the kitchen. Bet on yourself to be able to hang a curtain rod and not die. I'm not betting on myself there. That's for dang sure. Bet on yourself to figure out how to sleep through the night. That's a goal that I'm going to maintain until I can figure it out. I will figure it out. I know I will. But don't stop. At least not permanently. Understand sometimes we need breaks, but always bet on you, because what else are you going to do in this life? You're just going to stare out into the sky? Granted, I'm definitely become that person who just stares out the window and looks at all the birds in my backyard. So much so that my team thinks it's funny because I won't even realize it. ADD probably, but I look off, get distracted because there's some crazy hawks or a flock of birds. I don't know, just crazy animal activity in my backyard. And one of my teammates, I call her my work wife / work bestie, she got me a bird watching book. So I have entered that era. I think I've mentioned this before in a couple episodes ago, but I just need y'all to know that it's in full swing. It's also very calming, but also maybe it's going to be a new secret talent of mine. Identifying birds of the Southeast. Oh, God, that's funny to me. Anyways, I think that's all she wrote. I need to go eat. I feel very hungry after this episode. But then again, I'm always hungry. So there's that. And I think you're awesome. I appreciate you being here. And hopefully this episode entertained you. I hope it empowered you in its own way. And if not, maybe you giggled at my misfortune, because sometimes that's all you can do is laugh through the pain. And Lord knows I've been doing a lot of that lately. But cheers to hype people. Cheers to dreams. Cheers to following a budget, aka creating one in the first place. And, let's see where this ride takes us, because I have some good feelings about it. So if you're not doing so already, you can follow me on Instagram at ElizabethCheney_ and at InBetweenPod, and then on YouTube and TikTok at the InBetween Podcast. Ooh, also before I forget, I went with my friend Sarah to see the re-release of Pride and Prejudice for its 20th anniversary, and I just want you to know that movie still freaking slaps. Definitely one of my top 3 favorite movies. I think Pride and Prejudice has inspired my love life. I'm not necessarily meaning a enemies to lovers story plot. I don't think I would really like that, because I don't need any more stress in my life. But just lean into that hopeless romantic mindset. Cheers to love and cheers to dreams. Ooh, so cheesy, but I love it. Boop. All right, I'll see you next time on an all new In Between. Until then, I'm Elizabeth. Bye.